Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and notification bell so you never miss any of our deep dives into the political roller coaster we're all stuck riding. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Family, buckle up because today's topic comes with twists, turns, and a whole lot of wait. What did you think was going to happen? So today we're talking about Mexicans for Trump. Yes, those voters who loudly supported Trump, defended him at the dinner table, argued with co-workers, and wore those red hats proudly, only to now find themselves on the receiving end of skyrocketing racial profiling and deportations. And suddenly the enthusiasm, it's all gone. The regrets, loud, and the irony, painfully hilarious. So let's get into it.
Hi Trump supporters, it seems that many of you have found my page. So if you want more reasons to fight with me in the comments, let me give you some. Republicans love to throw in the face that Obama deported just as many people. And you'd be correct, Obama did deport 9 million people. Now, I won't speak on my opinions of this. I'm going to simply speak facts. And the facts were that these people were already in detention centers. They weren't being pulled from Home Depots, from elementary schools. I mean, is that not just cruel? Or do you have no heart? Want some more facts? Trump is simply weaponizing ICE. He's weaponizing the military. And you say he's not weaponizing, then why would he do this in a sanctuary state? In fact, Texas is actually number 2 in housing immigrants in the entire nation. So why do this in LA then? You speak about the protesters being violent, being cruel, being all of the things that you guys say about it, but is what Trump doing not very well politically motivated? Now you talk about how Trump is getting rid of criminals. Being illegal is not a crime. Fun fact, being undocumented is a civil offense. You know what else is a civil offense? Forgetting to pay your parking ticket, jaywalking, speeding, having an unregistered pet. So Trump supporters, don't act so virtuous. You guys love to talk about respecting the rules and respecting the law. Then why vote for a man who clearly has respect for neither of those? Simply said, the President of the United States is being cruel, whether you want to see that or not. You say that the protesters are being A, B, and C, but when you feel powerless and all you can do is take to the streets, would you not do that as well? Read a history book. That's what our people have done. So yes, we will continue to rally in March. Thank you.
So I'm coming for Latinos for Trump every day, every time. When I can, I'm doing it. Because the Republican budget plan just came out. And where's the no tax on tips? Not there. Where's the no tax on overtime? Not there. No tax on income? Not there either. You know what is there? Tax cut for the rich. Lowest there's ever been. But you bozos who kept screaming that he was going to do so much for the economy, that he was a businessman. He's a scammer. And we tried to tell you that he was not for you. Okay? So that just goes to show you, and I hope you're going to learn so many lessons. And they're going to be difficult ones. And we're not going to hold your hand while you learn them. All right? Te calmas o te calmo, like at 100. So you guys enjoy this. Have fun with that.
You're gonna vote for Trump in 2024.
Yeah.
Why?
He loves Mexicans.
What makes you say he loves Mexicans?
He talks a lot about us. He thinks a lot of us, so hey, he loves them.
So you love Trump?
Yeah.
So you're gonna vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
What about when he said most Mexicans are crossing illegally? What do you say to all that?
It's true.
Damn!
Mr. Trump! Trump!
Okay, what's the problem here? He's sending them back to where they came from. I don't see the problem. Did I just get my papers? I did. What's your problem? I know Pappy. He wants us to a better place. I know him.
So in this morning's MAGA hypocrisy, I'm just going to take it to my family. So My sister, one of my sisters, is MAGA, as is her husband. Hardcore. I mean, all in, 100%. Have been since 2015. So this morning she says to me, yeah, you know, my husband and I, we're really looking at stem cell research and getting some stem cells. And so we're going to go to Mexico and we're going to go get stem cells there because they're really good at it. And while I'm down there, I'm just going to have a complete redo while I'm down there. And so I'm thinking, okay, you hate Mexicans. You want them out of our country. But you love their food. You love their stem cells. And you love their medicine. You trust their surgical skills and medicine. Thoughts?
Hey, what's up, America? Mexico's president lashes out against Donald Trump, saying that he will not be helping stop cartels in Mexico. So Donald Trump says he would be very proud to come after Mexican drug lords operating cartels inside of Mexico. But now Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, hit back out at Donald Trump, saying that'll never happen. She will never allow the Americans to come and stop cartels. Of course, as you know, just the other day, there were protests against Claudia Sheinbaum, president of Mexico, because they say that she's helping prop up drug cartels. And so the Gen Z protesters were trying to break into the presidential palace because they wanted to oust her from government, because the people in Mexico say that she's assisting cartels. So is this one of those things that she's refusing the help of the Americans because she's in bed with the cartels, probably making a shitload of money? It's hilarious how all these countries are working against Donald Trump to try to prop up cartels. Venezuela, Colombia, now Mexico. El Salvador's president didn't have a problem with that. So why these countries? Because I believe that they're being paid by cartels to keep them in power. That's what I believe, meaning that the heads of state are probably in bed with cartels.
Being a Latina and marrying or dating a Trump supporter is like, ew, why do you hate yourself?
You told me that you voted for President Trump in 2024. Do you regret that decision? ¿Te arrepientes esa decisión?
Yes, 100%.
Why do you regret that decision?
That's because it's nothing that's true. It's not true. He say he go to catch the delincuentes. Criminals, yeah. And right now, he don't follow to criminals. He go to specific to Latino people. The DHS come specific to me and catch to me. Not other people. Because don't care to other people. Specific Latino people.
I married a Trump supporter, and this is how it went. Before I go into the story, I want to preface by saying that I believe there is a difference between a Trump supporter and a Republican. He would constantly say things like, build the wall. Even after I told him how hurtful and disrespectful hearing that was, because I came from a family of immigrants. Because of this experience that I had with my ex, being a Trump supporter is a deal breaker for me. The main reasons for this is because anytime me and my ex argued, he was always threatening to call ICE on my family. And the relationship was very abusive, but I stayed because of these threats. I felt guilty a lot of the times for putting my family at risk. He consistently used me as an example as to why he's not racist because he married a Mexican. He basically treated me as an exception. One time we were at his family's house and his Trump supporting family cornered me and harassed me about my political views. And I was in a corner like this and I had like 3 females in front of me arguing with me. He watched this happen and didn't do anything about it. And it was not one of those healthy political discussions. They were literally hounding me. Just because he married me does not mean he respected me. I come from a town that I would say is predominantly conservative. Back then, I wasn't as outspoken as I am now because I was still in the town at the time, and I did have a fear of speaking out because of how aggressive they were. Has anyone had similar experiences like these? And I know you might be wondering, but yes, I did divorce him.
He voted for Trump, and now his wife has been detained by ICE. This is Bradley Bartell and Camila Munoz. They are newlyweds from the state of Wisconsin. Last month in February, when they were returning from their honeymoon in Puerto Rico, their lives took a dramatic turn. Munoz, who is originally from Peru, was stopped by an immigration officer at the airport and asked if she was an American citizen. Upon revealing her Peruvian origins, she was taken into custody despite being in the process of applying for a green card. Munoz originally came to the state of Wisconsin in 2019 on a work-study visa, which expired at the beginning of the pandemic. They waited 2 years before finally getting married. Bartell, who voted for Trump, says that he didn't think his wife was one of the illegals who the president he supported promised to deport. Now, as his wife sits in an ICE detention center in the state of Louisiana, Bartell is left questioning his support for Trump. What do you guys think about this? Let me know down in the comments and share this video to help spread the word.
Look, I'm gonna say something that's not very controversial, but it seems to be. I'm so very glad that Mexican OT is a Trump supporter. I really am, because that made him turn off black people. They made black people be like, yo, what the hell? Not him saying the N-word a whole bunch of times and refusing not to say it, but him supporting Trump. I'm glad he disappointed you guys.
Toda mi familia votó por Trump.
Your whole family voted for Trump. Lo apoyaba a Trump durante su campaña. Did you support him?
Yo estoy fuera.
You're outside of it. You can't vote. Pero te sientes decepcionada. Do you feel disappointed, deceived, engañada?
Me siento mal porque sé que ellos creían en él.
You feel
Me
bad
siento mal.
because the rest of them believed it.
Trump all the way.
Are you for Trump?
Absolutely.
So what would you say to someone who says you're Mexican and Trump hates us?
He doesn't hate us. He hates the lawbreakers.
That's
he
right.
hates the illegals. Don't come here illegally. Welcome. Come. I did. Not illegally.
That's right. I came here too legally.
Yeah, and making a difference. Not
right.
hurting anybody, not stealing from anybody, earning your way.
Well, God bless you for being on the Trump train.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, God is going to prevail through Trump.
That's
I
right.
believe this.
I agree with you 100%.
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Whatever we have to do to stop drugs. Mexico is, look, I looked at Mexico City over the weekend. There's some big problems over there. If we had to, would we do there what we've done to the waterways? You know, there's almost no drugs coming in through our waterways anymore. Isn't it down like 85%?
It is, sir.
I don't know who the 15% would be. It wouldn't be you.
No, that's for sure.
No, I think it's been...
Tons and tons.
You would say that's a big signal.
Absolutely.
We have almost no drugs coming into our country by the sea, by, you know, the waterways. And you know why, okay? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Would I do that on the land cars? I would absolutely. Look, every boat we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives. Not to mention the destruction of families.
Oh man, we got some immigration officers coming. How's it going, officer? Registration, please. Oh yeah, of course, officer. Here, yeah, my name is John. Here, I'm American.
Let me see.
I voted for Donald Trump.
Where are you coming from?
I was just working. You know what? I was working in these apartment complexes. There's a lot of immigrants over there.
Be quiet. You look very illegal too.
Sir, I voted for Donald Trump. My name is John Rivers.
Your name is not John Rivers.
Sir, that's John Rivers.
That's Juan Rios.
Yeah, but Juan Rios is my Mexican name.
You're gonna have to get out the car.
Sir, I'm American.
You're gonna have to get out the car.
I voted for Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? This is unfair.
So this is for all of my Latinos for Trump, which I will never forgive you for putting this man back in office, especially because your roots, he was never going to pick you. Anyways, so remind me again how you guys were for a person that wanted to get all of the people that didn't belong here or came here the wrong way. Why are we trying to fly back white South Africans? Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring in some white South Africans. If you don't get the message now, like, you guys are probably the type of people that, like, your ex told you that they needed to focus on themselves, and you believe them. Like, that's the type of people that I believe you are, because this man was never going to pick you. He was never for you. And the fact that you fell for the BS is beyond me. This was never about getting criminals out. This was about getting people like them back in and back in control. So, like, that whole rhetoric, it was a lie. I don't know if you've noticed, because you guys have been very quiet. I haven't seen a single Latino for Trump come out and like defend their stance, because you have no stance. They want us out. We are the target, okay? And you were complicit in getting this man back into power. But it's fine. Like, we'll have a whole therapy session about it. But yeah, it's very clear what they're trying to do. And you know what? Like, you can still like make amends, but you have to start standing up. Like, you have to start speaking up. Just like you were so loud to defend this man, like, we need you now to step up and get united with us and back our community up and step up, because it's getting more radical out here. And they're only doing it step by step. They were never going to come out like in, like, you know, Star Wars Death Troopers style. No, they were going to do it piece by piece, and it's getting worse. So we need all the help that we can get, and you guys need to make this right.
Am I a sellout like the left suggests? The amount of times I've been called a sellout on this app by liberals, I can't even count anymore. You see, as a Latina American, I had every single reason to consider myself oppressed. I was a teen mom, I'm Hispanic, I grew up not very well off, and not to mention in the worst part of Phoenix. 27th Avenue and Indian School, if you know, you know. If I wanted to rely on the government, I easily could have, and I don't think anyone would have blamed me. But I work in healthcare, and working around a lot of doctors, nurses, physicians, lawyers, business people, I woke up one day and thought there's got to be a better way. And when I woke up and saw the agenda that the left was trying to push on people like me and my family, I got smart and I started to do my research. And I realized that no other country in the entire world can you go to with $20 and make yourself extremely successful. Today, I'm a Latina American, I am a business owner, I am a mom, and I'm able to have my cake and eat it too. And the reason why I make these videos is to show other Latina American women, or Latino women period, what can be possible here in the great United States of America. But our current administration is trying to ruin that for all of us. They want you to believe that Donald Trump does not care about women's rights. They want you to believe that he's racist. And they want you to believe that he's not for the working class or the middle class. And I can tell you that the economy was never better under Donald Trump. Construction workers were never jobless under Donald Trump because the economy was amazing. And as a woman, I never lost a single right. So as a Latina American woman who had to wake up and flip to the other side to actually see the truth, I encourage you to do your research and possibly do the same. Where are my fellow Latina Americans for Trump?
For all Hispanics, Latinos, and Mexicans that voted for Donald J. Trump, this message is for you. I am so proud and honored that we made our voices heard. That no matter how many insults the Democratic Party threw at us, or how many Hollywood stars they threw at us, or how many fake promises they threw at us, the Hispanic, Latinos, and Mexicans voted for life, defending the unborn, voted for Christian principles. We never denied God like Judas. We stood by him. We voted with a Christian conscience and said yes to life. Yes to Christian principles. Yes to children of God and their innocence. And blessed are the peacemakers, that we voted for peace and not war. So for now on, we will live with that God saw our vote. God bless the United States of America and everyone that voted for Trump.
Y'all better buckle the fuck up, because I have a story for you about my neighbor who was just detained and sent to Guantanamo Bay without due process. This is Elkis Martinez Gonzalez. And the photo that you see here is the same photo that is on file with the US government when they were granting him asylum in the United States. So it all started when he went for a walk in a park that I am not going to disclose the location of. I will just say it was in San Antonio, Texas, where this happened. My neighbor is from Venezuela. Now, he is here legally with a valid work permit, and he was here on asylum that was granted to him. His court date to appear in front of a judge for the very first time for the asylum case was going to be in 2027. Therefore, in the meantime, while he's waiting and is on temporary protected status, even though it's set to expire in April because he has a court date, he could still be in the country legally and work legally. So that already nixes anyone who was going to say, well, he was here illegally. No, he wasn't. He was here legally, the right way that you all want him to be here. While at the park, he was approached by Texas state law enforcement, not local law enforcement in San Antonio, but the state of Texas. And yeah, he spoke English, obviously, as his second language, but it was enough to get by, hence how he was able to get hired for a job, which he paid taxes at that job. And when you're walking in the park, I don't know, when's the last time you thought, let me bring my binder of paperwork with me just to go to the park? Because he could not provide the necessary documentation to show that he was here legally at the exact time while he was in the park speaking with law enforcement who approached him. He wasn't doing anything. He has zero criminal record in the United States and in his home country of Venezuela. He ends up here in state detention. While he is in state detention, he is not able to communicate with the family. The family just realizes he hasn't come home yet. What's going on? They are not communicating. So they start calling around. They call their attorney only to check the Texas penal records and see that he is listed there as detained. The family was given a bond to get him out of jail, which they paid $2,700. And once they paid that, the state of Texas has 3 days to release this individual. They released him at 5 a.m. on the 6th day, on a Sunday at 5 a.m., except they did not release him to his family. No, they released him into federal custody, into ICE custody. So now, here he is, detained at the El Paso Detention Center for Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, again, not having had committed any crime and still has not had due process or even a chance to show his documentation that he was here in the United States legally. His family travels to El Paso to go and ask to see if they can speak with him or even just see him, only to find out that he has been transferred to Florida. He is in Florida. And what's near Florida? If you guessed Guantanamo Bay, you are correct, because that is where he was sent shortly thereafter. He had been communicating with the family, and today it is Thursday, February 20th. The last contact that he had with his family through an app that charges you 25 cents to be able to send a text and charges you about $5 for a 5 to 15 minute phone call. Yeah, they can't access him anymore. He doesn't show up as being someone who is in the records anymore. They have not had contact with him in 8 days as of Thursday, February 20th. They last were able to speak with him on the phone because he would call like clockwork for 2 to 5 minutes like he was allowed to up until February 12th. During this entire process, he has not had an opportunity to prove his innocence. He has not had an opportunity to speak with a judge. He has not had an opportunity to show his documentation or even be looked up in the system that he is here on temporary protected status, which means that you cannot be deported to the country of origin if you are under that status. So to everyone who thought that they were deporting the bad guys, no. They're deporting innocent people and not giving them due process when they're in the country legally. And it happened to my neighbor. When the state of Texas says that there are no ICE raids going on in the state, that's because the state is doing the dirty work for the government and then passing them over after the dirty work has been done. And yes, I was given permission by the family to be able to tell his story. I have also shared this with my local news outlets. I have shared this with my congressman's office. And I want all of you to please share this so that people know the truth about what is going on. They are sending innocent people to Guantanamo Bay. And it can happen to you and your neighbors next.
You know what's so fucking embarrassing? All of the Mexicans for Trump in my comments Con el nopal en la frente. Sweetie, you look like a bean. Trump thinks you look like a bean too, I promise. If he doesn't like us, he doesn't like you either.
You know, every election season, we hear the same line. Trump only goes after the bad ones. And every time communities, especially Latino communities, are told not to worry because if you're legal, you have nothing to fear. Well, we're here, and as it turns out, racial profiling doesn't ask for your papers first. It doesn't pause to scan your voting record, and it definitely doesn't reward you for supporting the guy who expanded the very system now targeting your entire community. Yeah. So across the country, we're seeing reports of ICE raids increasing, police departments adopting broader stop and check tactics, and Border Patrol expanding internal checkpoints mile away from any actual border. Now, the result is Latino citizens, yes, citizens, are being stopped, questioned, and treated like suspects simply for existing in a brown skin. And many people who probably voted for Trump are looking around like, hold on, what? This wasn't supposed to include us, right? But that's the thing about systems built on racial generalization. They don't make exceptions based on political loyalty. They don't hand out VIP wristbands because you supported the candidate behind the policies. Once the door for profiling opens, everyone gets swept inside, right? And now the regret is pouring out in interviews, community meetings, online forums, Spanish language radio call-ins. You hear things like, I voted for him because of the economy, not deportation. I didn't think it would affect my family. Or I thought he meant the criminals, not regular people. Or the classic, he said he loved legal immigrants. Well, he also said they all look the same. But sure, let's pretend the warning signs went in giant flashing red letters. It was. Now let's talk about the economic angle for a moment. A lot of Latino Trump supporters backed him because they believed he would boost jobs, strengthen small businesses, or bring law and order. Now, instead, what they are seeing now is the labor market destabilizing, or entire industries start losing workers overnight. Construction sites are half-staffed. Restaurants are scrambling. Agricultural operations are collapsing under staffing shortages. And who's feeling the impact? The very communities that voted thinking they were securing economic stability. Yeah. Then there is the human side. The family is being separated, the kids are afraid to walk to school, the grandparents who suddenly don't want to leave the house. And yes, some of these families include Trump supporters who genuinely didn't believe they were voting for this actually, right? They thought they were choosing strength or toughness. Instead, they chose policies that they don't differentiate between political ideology and ethnicity. And now the consequences are unavoidable and painfully personal. Okay, so let's also address the internal community tension. So some Latinos who didn't vote for Trump are now saying, we warned you. And honestly, it's hard to blame them. The warnings were loud, clear, and repeated. But regret doesn't erase harm if he just highlights it. And the Latino community is now wrestling with the reality that support for someone who villainized immigrants didn't shield anyone from becoming collateral damage. Okay, now there's a bigger national impact too. This skyrocketing deportation sweeps are straining US-Mexico relationship, now slowing across border commerce and triggering diplomatic pushback. Meanwhile, the US economy is quietly panicking as labor-dependent industries are forced to confront the reality that just deport them all isn't an economic sound strategy. Who knew? Apparently, everyone except the policymakers. Yeah. So here we are, a moment of a reckoning, frustration, and yes, regret. But regret alone isn't enough. The real question is, what happens next? Will these voters reassess how policies, not campaign slogan, affect real lives? Will they continue supporting someone who is actively reshaping their community through fear? Will this be a wake-up call for political awareness, or will we see the family cycle of denial and excuse making? Now, at the end of the day, this isn't just a story about regret. It's a story about what happens when political choices collide with lived reality. And reality doesn't care who you voted for. It only cares about the policies you empowered. Now, let me throw this to you. Do you think the regrets will change future voting patterns in Latino communities? Should there be accountability for voters who supported policies that hurt their own communities? And what would you say to someone who's just now realizing the consequences of the vote they proudly cast? Let's talk about it in the comment section. I'll be reading everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Credit belongs to original creators.